I don't know why, but I just thought that in Australia, the sports that are popular in the UK would be by default the ones that would be popular in Australia, just because the cultural link between the two countries. I just thought, it's going to be mainly football, rugby, cricket. But no, you've got AFL that's huge in Australia, V8 supercars that's huge. And, as a result, the sports culture out there is completely different as well. And as someone who's planning on visiting Australia, I kind of want to let myself, what am I to expect at an Australian sporting event? I love the disclaimer.
Sport. There's just something about sweaty men running around playing with balls that captivates all of humankind. And of course, in Australia, it's no different. But you see, compared to the rest of the world, Australia does it a little bit differently. And that's due to one factor that we have that the rest of the world doesn't. Australians. Now there's many different sports that are popular here in Australia, and those include AFL, rugby, basketball, soccer, cricket, and of course drinking, gambling, burning down tobacco shops, youth crime, and stealing cars. But in today's video, we'll be focusing on the sports that are played on the field, not the ones that are played in the shopping centre car park. Anyway, with that said, it's time for me to stop the waffle and get into it.
So basketball's popular in Australia as well. For some reason, I didn't think it was. But there is that really good basketball player, Dellavedova. I think he won the NBA championships with the Cavaliers.
First up, we're going to start off with the players. Now, 90% of the players in any sporting league across Australia are males under the age of 30. And what does a man in his mid-20s that's earning multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per year spend his money on? You guessed it, partying and drugs. It seems that every year one of these players from any league is getting caught out using drugs. And while getting caught using drugs isn't that big of a deal if you're something like a roof tiler, if you play for something like the AFL or NRL who probably think that cannabis is a performance enhancing drug, you're gonna be in a lot more trouble. But the best thing about these players getting caught using drugs is the media kicking up a stink and them being forced to apologise on TV.
Yeah, the media usually are the ones that sort of build up the story because they're trying to get clicks,
It's always funny to watch one of these players say that they're sorry for their actions and that they'll never do it again.
Because that's complete BS.
Knowing full well that they've got another blockbuster planned for this weekend. Anyway, that's enough about the players. Now it's time to get into the crowd. But before we get into that, I have a massive announcement. For the first time in over a year, I've released new t-shirts. Action at any sporting event takes place on the pitch. You can't look past the action that takes place in the crowd. And sometimes, if you're lucky, some of the action that takes place in the crowd even makes its way onto the pitch. But we'll get into that later. Now, any good crowd at a sporting match will have people drinking, yelling, chanting, doing the Mexican wave.
Absolutely. I mean, all of that just contributes to a great atmosphere.
And if you're lucky, even getting arrested. Now, the most infamous example of this would have to be Bay 13 at the MCG during the cricket games. For decades now, Bay 13 has been a mecca, where all of Australia's loosest cricket fans make the pilgrimage and congregate in this one specific seating bay to cause absolute mayhem. Now, some typical Bay 13 behaviour includes chanting,
Oh my God, what did he do? Why is he getting such flack from the crowd?
drinking, the classic Mexican wave, throwing things at players, the classic beach ball, chanting abuse at the players, and of course, mimicking the players' stretches. Bay 13 is so iconic to the MCG and Australia's sporting heritage that it even has its own Wikipedia page.
Wow.
And you know it's going to be a good read when the Wikipedia page has a criticism section. But as you guys know too well, all good things must come to an end. And in 2019, Bay 13 got gentrified and they turned it into a bar with...
Why'd they do that? Why? For God's sake, that could have become already it was like a legendary thing. They should have left it there.
The dress code, and you had to pay for tickets. Anyway, you may recall about a minute ago that I mentioned the antics in the crowd sometimes makes its way onto the field, and that happens in the form of streakers. Now, streaking can be done in many different ways. You can be fully clothed, naked, on your own, or with a group, and most importantly, you can either get away with it, mixed by players and or security.
Really? So there's some players, Aussie rugby players, that will like take out a streaker. They'll like tackle him. Come on, just let him have his moment. But then again, I suppose he's interrupting the game, isn't he?
And the best part, of course, is when they get away and the crowd goes ballistic. Anyway, that's enough about streakers, because now we've got to get into one of the most important sections. And that, of course, has to be the international shenanigans.
Oh my God, is this the breakdancer? What was she doing? How did she get onto the Olympic team for the breakdancing?
And of course, just because it would be rude not to, we're going to start off with the Olympics. Now, if you've ever tried to get a good job in Australia, you'll quickly find out that it's not about what you know, but who you know. And with the Olympics, of course, that's no different. Don't believe me? We'll look no further than ray gun. Now, ray gun needs no introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyway. Rachel Gunn is a 36-year-old university lecturer, and she somehow made her way to the Olympics for breakdancing. Now,
unbelievable. Did nobody in Australia, like Rachel, can we, or Raygun, whatever it is, like, can we see some of the breakdancing first? Can we have a look and just see if you're any good?
Now, obviously, she got to this level through hard work and talent, and not because her husband, who was also a breakdancer and a qualified judge, pulled some strings to get her there. Now, obviously, there was zero corruption involved. I mean, just look at this performance. The talent just speaks for itself. Now, I'm going to leave this performance running in the background while I waffle for a bit.
I'm guessing because of copyright, he probably couldn't.
It was so bad, in fact, that it even overshadowed this Muppet getting caught red-handed trying to buy cane in Paris. But you see, hindsight is a great thing, and in hindsight, we probably should have sent Jonah Takalua to represent Australia in breakdancing instead. Anyway, that's enough about Australians in the
Or just send her husband, who's an actual breakdancer. Why didn't he go represent the country?
Olympics, because by now you'd know that every 4 years, it's basically just a free holiday for all of these athletes, and boy do they take advantage of it. Anyway, it looks like we're at the point of the video where I run out of shit to talk about, so instead, to finish it off, we'll go through some of the greatest moments in Australian sporting history. Now, I could only remember a few off the top of my head, so I decided to put up a poll on my Instagram. Make sure to follow me there, because that's where I'm most active, and you guys gave me a lot more than I was expecting. So without further ado, let's get into the greatest moments in Australian sporting history. First off, we're going to start with the classic, and that of course is John Howard bowling. Now, politicians are many things, and
John Howard, I'm guessing he must be previous president or prime minister of Australia.
a lot of them I can't say on YouTube, but one thing that most politicians aren't is good at sport. Don't believe me? Just watch this. Alright, I know that
So he just threw it into the floor. He just threw the cricket ball into the floor.
was hard to watch, so let's move on to another politician, and that of course is Scott Morrison bowling over that young child
what are you
while playing
doing?
soccer. Now I know you've probably all seen this video a million times, but from what I can recall, this is the first time on TV a child has been mixed by the Australian Prime Minister. Now obviously Britain's been there and done that, but Australia's first time has to of course go down in history. Then of course we've got Josh Addo-Carr getting fired from the NRL and then going to work as a labourer. And
Wow.
me, being a Collingwood supporter, this one hurts
What did the bloke do to get fired from the NRL? Must have been pretty bad.
to say, but Collingwood losing 8 grand finals in a row. And even though this happened roughly 50 years ago, unfortunately it's something we've gotten quite used to.
8 grand finals in a row. Oh, brutal. Brutal.
Before I get flamed in the comments, we'll move on to the next one. And for your information, yes, I still do have all my teeth. Next up we have the infamous Trevor Chappell underarm bowling incident. It was the last ball in the Australia vs New Zealand match, and they needed 6 runs to draw the game. When instead of bowling it, Trevor Chappell decided to do a light underarm toss. And while
Why?
technically not breaking any rules, Australia won the match. And Trevor Chappell was lucky that the batsman didn't try and hit one more 6 with his head. Then of course we've got the Essendon drug scandal. Bob Hawke sculling the beer, which I've already covered in another video, and of course NRL player Nate Miles doing a poo in the hotel corridor.
Oh, come on, Nate. Nate, what'd you do that for?
Anyway, to round this video off, I'm going to do something that I've never done before, and that is finish it off with a top 3. Now in third place we have a speech. Now I know this video has been more about ball sports and the Olympics, but there was just no way that I was going to leave out what is quite possibly the greatest speech in all of motorsport history, and that is Jim Richards' speech after he won Bathurst in 1992.
Oh.
You're a pack of assholes.
Now after a slightly controversial win in the Nissan
Is that all he said?
Skyline R32, Jim Richards went up onto the podium to claim his trophy, and he was not met with a good reception. Now after being booed and having beer cans tossed at his head, it was time to make this iconic speech.
I thought Australian race fans had a lot more to go than this. This is bloody disgraceful. I'll keep racing, but I tell you what, this is going to remain with me for a long time. You're a pack of assholes.
Wow. Oh my God. Why was he booed, first of all? Why was he booed? Not the crowd favourite, something he did on the track. But mate, I mean, he let him know. He let him know how he felt, and fair play to him.
And in second place, we've got to give it to the one time that the Australian cricket team got caught with their hands down their pants playing with their balls, also known as sandpaper gate. You see, what they were trying to do was rough up one side of the ball with sandpaper so that when they bowled it, it would swing left and right and be way less predictable for the batter to hit. Now obviously in cricket, that's a big no-no, and when they got caught red-handed doing it on TV, the captain and vice-captain both got banned for a year. Anyway, before we get into first place, I have one honourable mention.
Risky as hell doing that, you know, in the middle of the game. Like, is the advantage that huge in cricket that they could have got that it was worth them taking that massive risk? A year's ban. I'm guessing unpaid as well.
And that has to be Todd Carney turning himself into a water bubbler and drinking his own urine. Anyway, now the time has come, and first place goes to the greatest moment in Australian sporting history, Stephen Bradbury's gold medal in speed skating in the 2002 Winter Olympics. As you can see here, Stephen starts off strong, straight to the back, and for the whole 8 laps he's stuck at the back behind everyone else. But then on the final lap, the stars align, and the 2 leaders crash into each other. Now you've all seen those crashes in the Tour de France, when all the bikes stack into each other and cause a massive pile-up. You see, this is pretty much exactly what happened with the rest of these speed skaters, except of course, Stephen Bradbury. So Stephen, who looks just as shocked as the rest of us, breezed past the pile of bodies on the floor and claimed the gold medal. Now this is just one of those scenarios that's 1 in a billion, and that's what makes it so funny. And this will forever cement itself as one of the greatest moments, if not the greatest moments, in Australian sporting history.
That is insane. The luck on Stephen Bradbury. I mean, wild. So for the whole race, he's at the back, and then boom, just like that, they all, the leaders, they all like crumble and fumble, and he gets the gold. Absolutely insane. I need to get to some AFL games. Like, I think I want to do an AFL game, ideally the grand final, but that'll probably be impossible to get tickets for. And Bathurst. I really want to do Bathurst as well. Those two would be amazing. An NRL game would be fun, but just working it out so, because, you know, if I was to come to Australia, I can only come for like a 2-3 week period. Like, trying to sort of fit all that stuff in, it's probably impossible, right? Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you did, check out this video right here and hit the join button below. See you there.